Good morning, Albertans and Western Canadians. Average Albertan back here with a little bit of content. Took some time off there, and not gonna lie, I sort of enjoyed not being too involved with socials, but a few things that I think people need to be aware of right now. So, gonna do a little craft beer 4-pack here for you on this sticky Friday morning. Going into the long weekend here. Hopefully, everybody's gonna get out and enjoy it. With no further ado, number one, Alberta Chief Medical Officer Dean Hinshaw reappears from, I don't know, wherever she went. She disappeared for a bit. She's back. She says now has taken a 180-degree turn, a complete about face, and now says that, be prepared, influenza will be part of our lives this fall. That's weird. Influenza? Are you over there? Are you over? Oh, influenza's back. Hey, how's it going, flu? Nice to see you. The reason she's doing that is because the CDC came out and said that the PCR test is no longer allowed to be used. What? Yes, that's correct. Look it up. No longer allowed to be used because it cannot distinguish between influenza A, B, and SARS-CoV-2. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? It's almost like I've been saying that for a year and a half. But anyways, it appears in Alberta, COVID's over. Just like that. It's done. No more masking in schools this fall. No more masking in public transit. No more testing, period, unless you're sick enough to be in the hospital. Yeah, I'll repeat that. No more testing in Alberta, period, unless you're sick enough to be in the hospital. It's almost like you wouldn't test someone for something that they probably don't have. Weird, right? Maybe it's because these tests are incredibly expensive and only making the obscenely wealthy more money. Same with the vaccines. But hey, what do I know? Anyways, Alberta is the place to be in Canada, by the sounds of it. She's all over, folks, so enjoy. Number two, the rhetoric in other provinces on the vaxxed versus unvaxxed. Yikes, is all I can say. We are not so quietly creating a medical apartheid in this country, in Manitoba and Ontario, mainly. Manitoba, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. This is insanity. Preventing people from accessing public places because they're not vaccinated? So they haven't taken an experimental gene therapy that doesn't protect them from getting a respiratory illness that has flu-like symptoms that magically is now going to be replaced by the flu. I don't know what's going on there, but you guys need to figure your shit out. Ontario, hopefully this gets to somebody in Ontario. You guys need to arrest whoever is in charge of your healthcare system. In Ontario, they have decided that children that are not vaccinated, if they come in contact with a child that is tested positive, symptomatic or not, the child that has come in contact will be forced to stay at home for 10 days, no less than, possibly 20 days. They will not be allowed to participate in sports. They will not be allowed to participate in social activities. They will not be allowed out of the basement. Yeah, that's messed up, right? That's happening in Canada. They're still using the test that the CDC themselves has deemed unfit to use to punish children that did not get vaccinated, that did not partake in an experimental gene therapy. This is not a vaccination. Not even close. Vaccination questions. Will it prevent me from getting said virus? No? Weird. Can I still then transmit said virus? Yes. That's odd. It almost seems like that's not a vaccine at all. Is it approved by Health Canada or by the FDA? Well, no. Oh, interesting. Has it ever been tested on human beings successfully? Well, there were some trials, and yeah, well, the animals all died, so we kind of had to start with people. Oh, wow. That's pretty crazy. But you still want me to take this, even though I can still spread it, still get it, and there's a pretty good chance that I could have an adverse reaction to it. And then you want me to give this to my kids. I think I'm going to hold off just for a little while, just to see what happens, okay? That's just my take, but everyone is allowed to look at it however they wish. Please, rest of Canada, wake up. Wake the fuck up. Moving on, number 3, hashtag 215. That's for you. Anyone that is still supporting this 215 narrative from the Kamloops Residential School, sorry to burst your bubble. Well, your bubble was burst a few weeks ago. The chief from Kamloops there, she came out and a month late, oddly enough, and just straight out admitted that they really have no idea what they found. These voids could contain, I don't know, buried treasure. Certainly they have no idea of the ethnicity or the age of the people that may or may not inhabit these graves, let alone how they arrived in that position, let alone to say that they were put there in a manner that lacked dignity. So, yeah, seems that that's over, and yet we continue to use this term genocide. Even Twinkle Socks himself gets on the old fucking idiot box there and has to say that we can no longer allow genocides like this to happen in Canada. It is understandable that the actions that are being taken are somehow justified by this genocide that has occurred. This is coming from all public officials. You people are fucked. Anybody that believes this is nuts. There was no genocide in Canada, ever. The only genocide that's ever occurred in Canada was attempted by Indigenous peoples on other Indigenous peoples when they were at war with each other. They would literally eat their hearts in front of the prisoners. Okay? You want to talk about genocide? Do some history research. You'll find some interesting facts. Stop it. Stop burning the churches. Stop it with your graffiti. Stop it with your hashtag 215. Just stop it. It's over. People have had enough, all right? What's going on now is that this is going to usher in sympathy for this whole C-15, the UNDRIP bill, the UN Declaration of Indigenous Rights and Privileges or some stupid thing, or protection of Indigenous people. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the UN at any point, say some crooked Indigenous person claims that your land is their land. Well, the UN now, our government, our NDP, Liberal, Green, Bloc coalition, has given the UN supreme power over all of our rules and regulations and laws in Canada. They can now supersede any precedent in Canada. And now they can apply their laws to Indigenous people in Canada. So unless you're willing to fight, there's going to be some crazy shit happen. It already happened in South Africa. Talk to someone that's emigrated here from South Africa. What happened to their land when the UN came in and introduced UNDRIP? It's happening in Australia. It's happening in New Zealand. So, yeah. Lock your doors and batten hatches, people. So, not to leave you on a depressing note, this fall we are headed for what appears to be a federal election, plus municipal elections, school board trustee elections, health board elections, you name it. Elections of all sorts. So if you want to have a say, you want to get involved, get out there and get your name on a ballot. It's not hard. Okay? At the municipal level, even at the provincial level, with all these new parties, you want to make a difference, go make a difference. And if you're not much for the spotlight, if you're not much for getting involved in the process, well, at least, for Pete's sake, I beg of you, get off your ass and go vote. I don't care how meaningless you think this election is. I don't care if you're going to say that the same guy has won for 20 years. It doesn't matter. Get out there, have your say. Because guess what? You don't get to bitch if you don't vote. All right? So, let's enjoy the country we have. That's about all I know for now. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the long weekend.